Alright, so in this video we're going to be covering TCP IP configuration. We're going to be trying to connect two virtual machines via Windows Server, acting as an intermediary. You configure two of those virtual machines as clients and one as a server. Right. So the first thing we want to do is go into these virtual machines and set up the network type we want to use. So we're going to go here. We're going to right click on Windows 10, which is one of our servers. We're going to go to settings. Right, so we go to network with adapter 1. We could use either a bridge adapter or an internal network. The difference is with the bridge adapter, it allows you to communicate with the host's computer. We use for this we're gonna use a bridge adapter. So you have that selected. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you do the same thing for the other client. So you select it, right click, settings. It should be on bridge adapter already. Okay, right. So this is how it comes in default. So you want to switch it to bridge adapter and then press OK. Right. So now we want to configure the TCP IP for the virtual machines. So we're going to load up Windows 10 and configure the TCP IP within Windows 10. So we're going to power up Windows 10. Alright, so we're back, and now within Windows Server, we want to configure the TCP/IP. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Control Panel. I'm just going to scroll down here. We're going to open up Control Panel. We're going to click on Network and Internet. Let's click on Network and Sharing Center, and then we're going to change it up to settings. Right. So here you should see whatever connection you have connected to. It's with either Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Right now I have an Ethernet connection, so this is what we're going to be working with. So you go to right click on that, select properties, and look for Internet Protocol version 4. Right. So make sure that is ticked selected. Select properties, and we're going to be using a static IP address for this. So you can click on use this, and we're going to use 192.168.1.1. Right? And for subnet mask, we're going to use 255.255.255.250. Okay. Boom, and that's it for this client for Windows Server. And press 0, press OK, and close. Okay, so now we're in our first client, so Windows 10, and we're going to be repeating the same steps we did on Windows Server, but we're going to tweak the IP address a little. So exact same steps, control panel. Open up control panel. Right, control panel, network, and who are you? Right, network and internet, network and sharing center. And change adapter settings. Right. Properties. IPv4. Same steps we did in the last one. Windows Server. Same steps we used in Windows Server. We're using the same steps here. Right. So IPv4. Make sure it's selected. And properties. Right. Use following server. We're going to be using 192.168.1. Now remember in Windows Server we use 0 in the last number for the IP address. So we're going to be using, we use 1 for the last one, so we're going to be using 2 for this one. .2. Right, and for the subnet mask, we're going to be using the same subnet mask. And we're going to leave the default gateway empty. So I'm going to press OK. On the preferred DNS server, we're going to be using, we're going to be using the same IP address as the Windows server. So we're going to use 192.168.1.1. Just use the same IP address from the Windows server, so you'll be able to communicate with Windows server. Use the same thing over here too. Doesn't really matter, but use the same thing over here. 1.1 and OK. Oops. Okay, I guess you can use the same thing. Let's use the same thing over here. And now we're going to do the same step on Windows Client 2, so which is Windows 11. We're going to do the exact same steps in Windows 11. Alright, so we are in our second client, and we're going to be, doing the same steps we did in the Windows Server, and with the same steps we did in the first client. So, network sharing center, change adapter settings, properties, IPv4, properties. Right, so for the last one we used 192.168.1.2, but for this one we're going to use 3. Right, and for the subnet mask, same subnet mask, default gateway, we're going to set it to 192, same as the IP address from the server. 1.1, preferred IP address, 168.1.1, and OK. And now we have to go back to Windows Server in order to enable routing in it. Alright, so we're back in Windows Server and we want to enable routing. So the first thing we're going to do is going to open the server manager, which is this over here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the routing and remote access role. So we're going to add roles to this and features. Going to hit next. Gonna hit next. It's already selected the Windows server, the computer you're going to use on the hard disk. So you hit next. Right. So under server roles, you're gonna look for remote access. Right here, hit remote access. Select it. Right. So on your left hand side, you're gonna see features, remote access, role services. You're going to hit remote access, and then you're gonna hit role services. You're going to enable routing. So you click that, and then you add features. These are selected. You hit next, 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 and then you install. Now we wait until the installation is complete. Okay, so while this installs, we're gonna do one thing. We're going to enable the RRAS, which is the routing and remote access. So we're going to open the run dialog and type in RRAS mgmt dot msc. I'm gonna open that up. Right, so you're going to click on your server name. Right, so this is the routing and remote access manager. You click on your server name. So configure. This is click on the configure button to enable routing and access. So you right click on this, configure and enable remote access. Then next. Go to choose custom configuration. And then LAN routing. And then finish. And then start service. Right, so the remote access is configured on this server, and yeah. Next, we're going to enable network discovery and file sharing. So we're going back to control panel. Gonna open up control panel, network and internet, network and sharing center, then advanced sharing options. It should be somewhere here. Right. Advanced sharing options. And then we're going to enable network discovery. Turn on network discovery. We're gonna do it for private network too, because I'm on my home Wi-Fi, so it's safe. Let's open network discovery and file sharing. Turn on file and printer sharing. Turn on. And then we save changes.